This video is brought to you by Ashtanga for Dummies. Get my essential guide to Ashtanga Yoga for Beginners at www.yogatraveler.online/Ashtanga Guide.
Welcome everybody, thanks for joining. Today we are going to break down Surya Namaskara A, a very basic and unique tenement of the yoga vinyasa style practice. And this will be a basic Ashtanga Surya Namaskara A, but I will be showing some modifications so that all bodies, all levels, all abilities can feel comfortable with the practice. So let's talk about a little bit of the structure of Surya Namaskara. It has 9 poses that we do in a sequence, in a flow with breath. So each pose has either an inhale or an exhale attached to it. A lot of that has to do with when we're lifting or when we're folding, so you can feel the mechanics of the body as well. Before we start any practice, though, we really want to be connected to our breath. So for a moment, let's just close our eyes and start to breathe in and out through the nose. Slow and steady breath. You want to feel like you're using your whole lung capacity. Maybe imagine a balloon in the center of your body. And as you inhale, that balloon blows up, expanding chest, rib cage, diaphragm down into the belly. And as you exhale, that balloon deflates. You fold all that air out, squeeze it out. The breath is a muscle, just like anything else. The lungs, the diaphragm, they're muscles. We need to stimulate them. So each time you take that inhale, try to breathe all the way in. Feel the whole capacity of your breath. And every time you exhale, try to release all of it out. Let's start to move with our breath, because this is how we do a flow. We can begin just with our arms. So let's take our arms by our sides. Inhale, lift, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, release, bring your arms down. See how we move with the breath. Inhale, we're lifting, filling up. Exhale, we're lowering, decreasing our air. Take one more breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good. Very nice. Let's come onto our feet. Let's stand up. We'll break down each of the 9 poses to begin. We can talk about how to modify or change each one, adapt each one, maybe a better word. And then we'll move it into our flow. So first we have Samastiti. This is our standing feet. Technically, it's big toes together, heels slightly apart from each other. But this can be a little restrictive in the hips. So if you feel like that's too intense there, take your feet hip width distance apart. Important to have the feet parallel. That's good for alignment of the hips, the knees, and the ankles. You should feel like there's energy radiating from the floor up your body. So play around with it for a moment. Maybe big toes together, heels slightly apart, or maybe hip width distance. This is our first pose. Well, I guess there's 10 technically. This is our beginning. This is our stepping off point. Then we take a breath. Inhale, reach your arms up. This is Uttana Padasana. Now, technically, bringing palms together overhead. If that feels like too much for your shoulders, keep them shoulder width distance. Important to pull your shoulder blades down your back so that there's length through the neck here. So that is the first pose. Here we go. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. I like to swan dive my arms down. That's the way I was taught the Ashtanga sequence. And some of you might be able to reach for the floor. Not all of us can. It depends on length of arms. It depends on length of torso. It depends on flexibility in the hamstrings and in the hips. So maybe you're touching the floor, or maybe you're letting your hands rest on your legs somewhere, or this is where a block might be handy. A block could be on the ground, and you just reach for your block. The blocks have 3 different heights, so you can change how high or how low that block is. Either way, Uttanasana, forward bend. Now, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. If you have your hands on the ground and you're really flexible, you could simply just look up, maybe lift onto the fingertips, extend your neck and your gaze. If your hands are already on your legs, just slide them up a little bit, maybe to the shins, halfway. Keeping the knees straight is very helpful in stretching the hamstrings. So you might feel that stretch there. Inhale. And then exhale, we move into Chaturanga. Here I'll maybe turn to my side. So bend your knees and take your hands down and step back to a plank. Now right away, plank may or may not be possible for your body. An easy way to modify it is simply to drop to your knees. If you are utilizing your abdominals, you'll still feel lifted through your core and you won't lose any strengthening there. I can feel my abdominals lifting, humming, energizing there. So try it on your toes. If you're feeling straining in the back, if your hips are sagging, or if your hips are lifting, there's maybe some strength that needs to be built there. So just drop to your knees. Now let's break down a Chaturanga. Chaturangas are tricep push-ups. So your elbows bend by your side. Your elbows are coming back, not out to the side like a push-up that I can't do. I can only do Chaturangas. So maybe everyone come onto your knees and let's start to lower our elbows down. And as you can see, my torso is coming forward. And you want to have a line, a stacking of the wrists and the elbows as you go down. So as you go down, there's a stacking there and my shoulders are coming forward. This is going to build so much shoulder strength, which will lead us into the next pose. Try now taking your block in between your hands, put it on the lowest height, and then take the hands to the floor. So again, we're just on our knees, and we'll drop the chest right down onto that block. It's like a placeholder. It kind of shows us how far down we need to go in order to have that alignment. Now, I don't know about you, but I can already feel it in my triceps. The triceps should be warm and strong as well as the shoulders. So there's a lot of movement that happens from the Ardha Uttanasana pose to the Chaturanga. Let's just go through that very quickly. So the Ardha Uttanasana pose is the halfway lift pose. Maybe hands are on the knees. You might be able to have your hands on the floor. Then you bend your knees, your hands go down, and you step back, or you can hop back. We can talk about that later. And into Chaturanga. That all happens on one exhale. Now lift up to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Okay, let's break this one down because this one's tricky too. Let's come back to Chaturanga on your knees. If you're on your knees, I would suggest coming all the way to the floor in your Chaturanga. Then just simply lifting to a Cobra pose because your belly, your hips are already going to be on the floor. So a Cobra pose here is very much like an upward facing dog. If you are able to be in a plank and you're doing the Chaturanga, Then you're gonna slide on the top of your feet and bring your chest forward. Now, if you can see my arms, my wrists, my elbows, my shoulders, they're all stacked right on top of each other. And I'm balancing on the tops of my feet here, and my hips are hovering. They're not on the floor anymore. So this happens on an inhale, and then we move to downward facing dog. Couple of options. If your knees are down, if you're in that cobra pose, just roll through your knees and come up to downward facing dog. So it might look like this. So you're on your floor and you push up to that cobra pose. Your knees are already there, so just lift, roll onto those toes, and bring yourself up to downward facing dog. Easy progression, right? Not so hard. Here you can pedal your feet, you can move around. Now what if I was in upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana? So here, I'm hovering my hips, tops of my feet are on the floor, and we roll through our toes, through our feet, and then drop the heels back down to the ground. And we can feel that pressing down of the feet. All right, so we made it here, one way or another. Feel free to pedal your feet, move around a little. You could bend your knees a little. Feel that release of the ankles to the floor. Then we take a big bend and we step our way forward. Now some of you might be able to just take one step all the way up. That may be too far for most of us. So you could drop to your knees and step your way forward. Or you could just take a lot of little steps, kind of creep your way forward. For those of you who feel like you're fairly advanced, you could bend your knees and hop your way forward. And we're in our halfway bend again. So my hands come to the floor easily so I can do my halfway lift. Some of you may be here, right? Halfway lift. And then we fold back down, Uttanasana. If you still have your block handy, you can use it again in this forward bend. We're just reversing what we just did. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. Your hands are either straight above your shoulders or maybe they're pressing together. And then exhale, Samastiti, arms by your sides. All right, that's the whole sequence. Let's try the whole thing with breath. Now, hopefully you remembered some of the modifications that we did along the way. I will remind you of those as well so that you can feel like there's ability in your body to do this sequence. Okay, so let's try it. Feet hip-width distance apart or big toes together, heels slightly apart. Your choice, right? Inhale, lift your arms up to shoulder height or maybe pressing palms together. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Reach down as far as you can. You can reach for a block, the floor, or rest your hands on your legs. Inhale, look up, halfway lift, shoulders roll back, hands on your shins or on the floor. Exhale, hands down, step back, drop to your knees or hover into Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra pose or upward facing dog. Maybe your butt belly's on the floor or you're hovering. Exhale, roll through your knees or your toes, and we're in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Feel free to bend your knees here, pedal your feet here. Feel whatever you need to do to work through this pose. We're taking 5 breaths. I'm kind of talking through our breaths, I guess. Bend your knees, look forward, inhale, step. Lots of steps, one step, maybe a hop up to the top. Exhale, fold into your legs. You can have your hands on the ground, again on the blocks is fine. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach it up to the sky. Exhale, Samastiti, arms by your sides. Nicely done. Great. Now the idea is that this flow warms our body. So we usually do it, at least in Ashtanga, subsequently many times in a row, and warming up our body, connecting to the breath, feeling a rhythm. So let's do it 5 times. We're going to do it 5 different ways. And you can find your own way. The idea is to find your own way through the sequence. So let's give this a try. I'm going to lead you through some modifications. Follow me. Maybe there's one that feels really good to your body. So here we go. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Let's come to all fours. We're going to move through cat and cow. Inhale, drop your belly, send your gaze up. Exhale, round through the spine. See, I'm still doing one movement per breath. Inhale, arch, belly drops down. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Come back to neutral, inhale. Let's take a child's pose. Exhale, knees open a little wider. Sit yourself back into the hips and reach your arms forward. Child's pose could be an adaptation of a downward facing dog. Nice length through the low back. Good. 5 breaths here. Inhale, come up to all fours. Exhale, we're going to step forward. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold into your legs. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, Samastiti. Good. Say you're in a place where you don't want to get on hands and knees, or it's just not possible for you in that day. You can do it standing. I'll show you how. It's really simple. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back down. Keep your knees lengthened. Feel the backs of the legs, hamstrings stretching. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach it up. Exhale. Nice, right? Pretty easy. Let's go back to moving to the floor. This time I'll show you Cobra's pose and Cobra pose and a child's pose, kind of adaptation. So here we go. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step back or hop back. We'll drop to our knees and continue to lower onto our stomach. 3 cobras. Inhale, lift up. Pull those elbows back by your side. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Nice job. Inhale, come onto your knees. Let's stay on our knees and just reach our arms forward. Exhale, this is a puppy dog pose. Another adaptation of downward facing dog. I love this one. It stretches out our torso. We can feel that reach through the rib cage and shoulders. Good. Inhale, come up to all fours. Exhale. Let's step forward. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, Samastiti. Good, we're almost there. We've got 2 left. This next one involves a lunge, a step back into a lunge. I've seen many people do this one. Maybe you'll feel good with this version. Here we go. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back. You can either stay on the toe or you can drop down that knee. Inhale, feels nice. Exhale, hands are down. Step back to downward facing dog. Breathe here, 5 breaths. You need a child's pose or a puppy dog. You may take one. Good. Now inhale, step your right foot forward again. This is going to bring us onto the other side of the lunge. You can either stay lifted or drop that knee. Exhale. Just take an extra breath here. Inhale. Feels good on the hips. Exhale. Now we'll step all the way forward. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, Samastiti. Great job. For our last one, let's do a traditional Surya Namaskara A. At least I will demonstrate traditional Surya Namaskara A. If you would like to follow or to just do one of these variations, please do. Make it your own. Feel it in your body. Here we go. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, look up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step or hop back, Chaturanga. Remember, you can drop to your knees. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Moving around as much as you need to. Bending knees, dropping onto knees, pedaling feet. So many good options available to you. You choose. Bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, step or hop up to your hands. Exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale, reverse swan dive, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastiti. Nice job, we made it through. I hope you found one Surya Namaskara A that felt really good in your body.